What's up, crypto gang? Welcome back to another episode of Hack Crypto, where we hack our cryptocurrency and blockchain education. If you guys are brand new here, we do a small little giveaway at the beginning of every single episode, and today's winner is Maya Murphy. Thanks so much for commenting on the previous video, Maya. Just sent you a wax NFT. If you guys want a chance to win on the next video, like this, comment something about the interview that I'm going to do today, and be subscribed. On this episode, I sit down with Bitboy Crypto. Ben, aka Bitboy Crypto, I would consider a friend of mine, and it is an honor to say that because he is going to be the first crypto channel that reaches 1 million subscribers, which is such a bold statement, and it's really exciting, and everybody should rally together and be excited about a channel that is going to achieve such a huge heroic milestone. Because when we talk about game theory, we're not in a non-cooperative game, we are in a cooperative game scenario here with crypto. Everybody needs to work together to reach the masses. Guy works harder than anyone. Literally, he outworks everybody in the space, which I love to see that kind of direct cause and effect. Just launched Bitverse, so I'm going to be leaving the link to that in the description below. It's a really cool hero kind of themed, comic book themed NFT collectible project. So in this interview, we talk about NFT, which is something that I talked about on a previous video that is non-fungible fillable tokens. I'll be leaving the link to that also in the description. As a disclaimer, I did invest in that project, and I'm really bullish on it because a decentralized ad network concept, I think, could be massive. And Ben, Bitboy Crypto, he also invested in it early on. So we did a collab together where we wanted to sit down and talk through what the next phases look like for it. So without further ado, let's jump right into my interview here on Hack Crypto with Bitboy Crypto.
Hey everybody, today I'm joined by Steve McGarry, known as Hack Crypto on YouTube. You guys have probably seen his channel. You probably checked him out on my channel if you've been a subscriber for most of the history of mankind, because it's been a long time since we've done a collaboration, but a good friend of mine. Steve, welcome to the channel.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. It's been a long time, and we just had a good time catching up before recording, which was good to get up to speed, and congrats on all this growth.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Well, we're going to get you some growth too. Guys, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to Steve's channel, Hack Crypto. You guys get that information down below. He's at 29.4K. I mean, we can at least get him to 35,000 subscribers if we're being, conservative here. So you guys make sure to go subscribe to his channel. He's got a lot of good information. And so the way we really connected here, other than just being friends, is there's actually a project that I'm invested in. I've talked about a little bit. And so we really want to talk about that project along with, kind of just the NFT space in general. The name of the project is NFT. And it's very similar to me. The way that you kind of stumbled across this was you saw it and you were like, wow, this looks super interesting, because it was totally organic for both of us to kind of, stumble across this one and invest in it and work with it and things like that. So what is it about NFT that really stands out to you is something that, is interesting?
Yeah. And I love the fact that we both kind of came across it in similar ways, just because it is organic and we weren't like getting paid to do any sort of promotion. I just came across it, and I studied game theory in college. I got my degree in economics, which got me into crypto originally. And when I saw NFT, I was like, oh, this is compelling, because it's basically like a game in a way where everybody's trying to get these blocks. And originally the phase one, from how I understand it, is like the $1 million homepage, which what I understand was how you really got attached to it, because that whole kind of gimmick is a clever way of getting a bunch of eyeballs. So that's the phase one, where everybody buys all these blocks basically on this page, and the rarity kind of goes down into the center of the page. And then the phase two part was what really hooked me into it, where they're basically building out like a display network, like an ad network.
Yep.
It's going to allow these NFTs to be displayed like on, your website, on my blog or something like that. You could put it up there, and it's interchangeable. So people can run ads through these NFTs in a decentralized manner that I think is pretty groundbreaking. I haven't seen anybody trying to do anything like it. And I think advertising is a virtually untapped space in crypto, but it merged all the like crazy thoughts that I have in my head about NFTs and advertising and marketing and all that stuff just came all together in this like kind of cutesy designed project that was really pretty cool. I mean, I think that they're onto something for sure.
Yeah, I think so. And like you said, the thing that really piqued my interest because so basically what people have to understand is we get like I feel like almost any project that launches, it comes across my face, and I get the option to turn it down or accept it or work with them or learn more about it, whatever. Because if it's not directly from the team, then it's from friends or the research group or somebody from their community. Like I get so much stuff in front of me, and when it comes to NFTs, like a lot of it is like yeah, okay, I think that sounds good. Like I can see the use case in it or whatever. But this one, when it came across me, it was a friend of mine that actually sent it to me and I saw it and I said, "Get me in that." Like get me in that. I want in that because that $1 million homepage is something that I've actually talked about with other people in crypto before how interesting that idea was if you could do like the $1 million homepage where if people don't know what that was, it was where there were 1 million pixels and the guy had this idea to sell each pixel as ad space for $1 and that's how he was going to make $1 million and he did it and he did it pretty quick too. And so I've always thought how interesting that would be if it was on blockchain, an idea similar. And so I saw this, I said, wow, this is really the move. And I think that when it comes to NFTs, right now, the general populace is focused on collectibles. But those of us that are really in crypto, those of us that are in here every single day, we're always looking ahead and we're looking for the next phases of things. And so it doesn't surprise me that advertising is now starting to come in because these are internal dialogues we're having here about our NFTs and about ways we can branch out and do NFTs as a service, working with businesses or grocery stores or whatever the case may be, for advertising and coupons and crazy stuff, because NFTs are way bigger than collectibles. That's just kind of the hook to set, but there's going to be so much more behind it. So we talked about NFT. It's a great idea. It's something we're both invested in, something we're both looking at. I think it's going to be absolutely massive. What are some other stuff kind of in NFTs in general that you're looking at?
Yeah, great question. So, I've obviously been following Stash, Crypto Stash, and Ken. I love what they're doing with playing around with different animations and things like that. In the future, looking down the road, I think most creators, YouTubers, and things like that are going to have very similar kind of trending NFTs where they're creating them to connect with their audience. And I think that that is something like social currency, social tokens that is really coming up now because it's really a cool way to connect. I saw you had Jake Paul on, I see a lot of these kind of movements towards that. And you yourself, did that really cool Bitverse concept that I played around with and Love Wax and everything going on with Atomic Hub and everything on there.
Yeah.
So I feel like following a lot of those are really interesting because people have these amazing audiences like yours. People have all these great communities out there, but there's not really, it doesn't feel like there's skin in the game, yet. There's all these Patreon concepts and things like that that are great, but being able to collect moments, snippets, Hishoshi, I don't know if you've had him on in the past, but.
Excuse me. Hishoshi was my first collaboration ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he actually, it's funny. I love Hishoshi, man. Forrest, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
And like, I remember like I had, I think 450 subscribers and he had 300 subscribers. And he sent me an email. It's like, hey man, I'm just kind of getting this, this going, this YouTube channel. And like, you seem pretty similar. And you know what I'm thinking when I got the email? I'm like, yeah, you only got 300 subscribers, but I got 400. Okay. But anyways, we did a video together. We went over our top 5 projects and stuff. So yeah, I love Hishoshi. He's definitely one of my favorite people. And we go way back.
Yeah. He had some really great ideas when we talked about NFTs because he's a brilliant engineer. If you guys haven't
so smart.
seen his channel, definitely check him out. Fantastic engineering mindset coming at it with that approach. And he talked about having moments in videos, very similar to what we're talking about with NFT, where they're interchangeable, where you could literally buy ad slots within a video and sell moments and things like that to advertisers. And I think there's just so many cool not only builders and content creators and things like that, but there's so many brilliant people coming up with new examples of how to use this tech, which is so new that a lot of us are still trying to figure things out. And I think you and I, Ben, are very fortunate in that we get a lot of these things across our desk. People just send us emails every single day asking what our thoughts are and things like that. And it's really pretty inundating, but at the same time, it's exciting because you can see trends of where things are going. But I kind of want to throw that back at you in terms of what you're seeing, and you're excited about with NFTs.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the thing I'm the most excited about with NFTs is, it seems as if right now we don't really have like a lot of great NFT launch pads. Like we've got a lot of chains, right?
Mhm.
We've got some that have done some good stuff, but I'm really excited to see Super Farm, honestly, from Elio from Elio Trades, when that thing fully launches. That's when we're looking at, doing launches on ourselves. And then we're looking at using that one to help other creators, and other people with platforms to launch their NFTs. Because of course, I mean, I've already said, like, I'm the most interested in the next level of NFTs, that not just the collectibles. But in terms of the collectibles, like that's the thing that gets the mainstream in. So we're seeing people with bigger and bigger platforms wanting to come in, but I'm waiting till we get some of these platforms that can really tie a lot of this stuff together and, have massive launches. Like you think Ticketmaster, right? Like Ticketmaster, when somebody launches a brand new concert, right? What happens? Sells out immediately.
Mhm.
There is not there's not an oversaturation of concerts. Now, maybe a bad time to talk about that, considering the pandemic and stuff like that. There are concerts at an all-time low. But I used to be in the ticket business. I used to be in the concert and the event space and sports event space, and I can tell you, like, it didn't matter what was going on when Taylor Swift came out and dropped her latest concert schedule. They were all selling out immediately. And we all had this common platform where you go to get it, which was Ticketmaster or Live Nation. And so when you look at influencers and celebrities and athletes launching their own platform or launching their own, NFTs, I really want to know what that next big platform that's like, okay, when someone launches here, you better be there at that time, because if not, you're going to miss it. And then what happens? The Taylor Swift sells out all our concert tickets, and they immediately start going to the, to the aftermarket, the secondary market sites like StubHub or the site that I used to run, or Vivid Seats, whatever. Like I'm waiting for like a funnel in the NFTs to operate like that, to
Yeah.
where it's like a can't miss event to be there when they launch. Because right now it's just kind of like these people, these creators, these athletes or whatever, like they just will release on this platform, release on that platform. But I'm waiting to see where we see a lot more of this tied together, where people are really excited, about seeing a wide variety of creators drop, instead of just like, oh yeah, this one person I follow is releasing something. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely does. And I think from my perspective, having studied a lot around game theory in school and learning about how Ethereum basically has flipped a lot of traditional game theory around with, in a non-competitive game or a non-cooperative game where you're literally just trying to predict what the other person is doing. And it requires a third party to basically confirm, like law or government. It has to
Yeah.
be able to say, oh, you win, so you have to pass it over to Ben. He wins, you got to pass it over. And now Ethereum has disrupted that, and NFTs on top of that make it so that basically you can put these things within games that I know, CryptoStash talks a lot about. And I've just been very eager to see what happens with this whole no third party concept within games and allowing people to earn through that with incentives, because that's at its core a beautiful example of payoffs with game theory. And I think that that's just such a fun disruptive thing that not a lot of people really talk about, just because it's such a wild change of an old concepts, and Vitalik has done a good job of really pushing that game theory narrative for sure. But
Yeah, I mean, we're heading towards the metaverse. Am I right?
that's right.
Like
Headed there. Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't know if you're
It's
familiar with Terra Virtua. Have you heard of them?
Yeah.
They're like
Mhm.
almost like Ready Player One, which I thought was pretty trippy, just because they're licensing all these big entertainment deals and
Yeah.
things like
Like
that.
Paramount or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of the big companies. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I was fascinated to see stuff like that coming into the space where you have these big brand names, really putting a lot of emphasis on the space that isn't really that talked about. Like I met Gary, their CEO, a long time ago, and they're doing great things. So I agree with you. Looking past the collectibles, looking into things like music, fashion, digital rights, and things like that. Movies, I think, is
Yeah.
super interesting.
Yeah. Well, is that
So
Kevin Smith on, and they're selling NFTs, for all kinds of different stuff, to unlockable events, and get a cameo in the movie. And, the Clerks 3, the whole underlying, theme running through it is cryptocurrency. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that, because I think this is what people have to see, is that in crypto, we get very echo chambered. And when you start seeing the big companies outside of crypto coming in and how sold they are on what they're doing, that should tell you something. I think that outside of crypto, those people actually think NFTs are a bigger deal than the people inside crypto do. And that's what we want in the space.
yeah, yeah, agreed. I'd love to learn a little bit more about the Bitverse, because I played
Yeah.
around with it on Atomic Hub, loved the designs, loved the kind of the shill character. I thought that was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And the grizzly bear. I loved all that
Right.
stuff. But what was the like overview there?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's my whole channel. Like, Bitboy started as a comic, and, we had this idea when I started this channel, that Bitboy was going to be an animated cartoon series and a comic book series and all that stuff. And, obviously I started the channel in January of 18, which was bear market, the beginning of the bear market. And so people didn't want fun stuff. So I decided that wasn't worth my time investment. It was better for me to do news videos and try to learn and educate and things like that. And so that's what we did. So the whole original idea of my channel was that. And so it's been really cool with NFTs to be able to bring it back around to what the original thing was. So these characters we've had in development for years. We just finally had a place to put them out. So, we're working with a comic book artist and comic book writer from DC who's working on our first comic book. Each page is going to be its own NFT.
Cool.
We had one run at it on Rarible, but we ended up leaving Rarible, and we kind of wrapping stuff up over there. We're going in a new direction with a new comic book, and we're gonna, instead of like really trying to make everything like cheeky, really crypto related, like it's just going to kind of be like they're crypto related characters. There's going to be some crypto themes running through it, but it's just going to be like the Marvel universe, but it's the Bitverse. And so we're really excited about everything we've got going on there. And, we're going to be doing a lot of collaborations with other comic book, or other, like we're talking about doing stuff with some of Kevin Smith's characters and stuff like that. So it's just exciting. I mean, it's so exciting to see everything kind of come full circle here. And so this isn't something we just came up with overnight. We're like, NFTs are hot. Like, we've actually been working on that wax release for 6 months. And then we've been working on those characters for years now. So it's definitely been pretty cool to see it come to life.
Yeah, yeah, love the designs, and I think that now with the space kind of flooding with pretty much everybody trying to create NFTs, you really have to go for the premium quality designs, and you can tell that you didn't just roll out of bed and and create it. Like you clearly spent some time on it,
Yeah.
and I think that those are the projects that are going to be the ones that last long term, like legacy wise. A lot of the ones, not speaking badly about a lot of artists or anything like that, but
Yeah.
the space is getting pretty flooded with
Yeah.
everyone. So you really need to focus on quality, and you guys crushed it. What was the drop like? I was watching like what was
Crazy.
going on, but was it smooth on Atomic Hub?
Well, we didn't launch our Atomic Hub. We launched directly through wax.io. So we were an official wax launch. And so I think that, we could have done it by ourselves on Atomic Hub, but we did it through wax, and there were problems. We crashed the site because we sent too much traffic. We wanted to make sure we sold out, because I had this conversation with somebody the other day. It's not about money for us, the NFTs. It's about building this universe that we originally, drew up. And so for us, like, we wanted to do a smaller amount of cards because we would have rather sold them all out than have too many cards and then not sell out. And then, there's not a lot of momentum, but I don't even know. We would have sold out in literally a minute if all the payment, if the site hadn't crashed. They actually had to end up, as soon as they launched, Wax had to actually delay it 30 minutes because the traffic crashed the site immediately. So it took probably about 30 minutes, I think, after they all launched to sell out because of a lot of the website traffic issues. But the launch was incredible. We should have done a lot more. But this is cool now because we're going to be able to have, they're already selling on the secondary market. And this is what we want. We want demand for the cards. We don't want this to be where people don't want these or don't care. So we've had 3 people working full time on this for 6 months. So
wow.
Definitely, rewarded for the work. But it was much more rewarding to see the reaction. And, it's shown us that there is a lot more demand for these than we even thought there would be. So I'm super excited to see everything develop. And our next drop is going to be on Theta with these characters, but it's going to be a whole different version of these characters. And there's going to be unlockable content. Cool. And we're super excited to debut that. That's going to be fun. So that's what we got going on next for the Bitverse. But that's all the time we got actually here, Steve. I got to head on out here. But everybody make sure you guys go subscribe to Steve's channel, Hack Crypto. There's a link down below in the description. Let's get him up to at least 35,000 subscribers. You guys can do that. Is there anything you want to leave us with today, Steve?
No, definitely check out NFTs, share NFTs with your friends, share projects that you like with your friends, and, spread the word of the NFTs and collectibles and whatnot. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. Always a friend of the channel. Welcome on anytime. All right, guys, make sure to drop your comments down below what you thought about this interview, what you think about NFT. I'm really curious to see if you guys think that one's going to be a success. So drop those down below. That's all I got. Be blessed. Bitboy out.
So that is it for my interview here with Bitboy Crypto. He's a fantastic guy, #1 YouTube channel in the cryptocurrency community, and really proud of everything that he has accomplished in growing this massive community, launching Bitverse and a lot of different projects. So check out his channel with the link in the description below. And that is it for this episode. Like this video if you like this content and this type of interview. Comment with your Wax wallet for a chance to win on the next video. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Hack Crypto.